Beloved one, child of our Father, most wonderful friend, abide with these words. Take them deeply into the heart of consciousness and contemplate the deeper message of love. My lifetime is still being lived with you as you journey, as you experience, as you express. Contemplate my life of long ago. Live my teachings as you understand them now to be. Open your heart to my love, for I would love you completely and ascend with me unto the remembrance of the Father's love. Mother Mary speaks on Holy Communion. Gentle ones, in the day and time when I walked this plane, first as a little girl and then as a mother, there was a teaching, a collective consciousness of the reverence for all of life. And I was taught from quite an early age to be in communion with all of life, to sit in silence with the sun, to drink in the warmth of the rays, and to feel the Father's love in the rays of the sun. I was taught to sit quietly to hear the grass growing, the flower unfolding, and I was given much encouragement by my family and my extended family, the community, to sit in silence and know the peace of true communion. Now you have a certain most beautiful ceremony which you have kept alive in your memories down through the ages, a ceremony called Holy Communion. And I would ask of you to contemplate those words, to go beyond just what the ceremony and the ritual is, to understand the meaning of Holy Communion, the awareness of the common union of the one, of the whole, of the one child of the Father. You have seen this ceremony to come out of a certain Last Supper, the feast of Passover, which my son shared with his disciples and with you and with me. For in truth there were more than just 13 in that room, and I am not just saying that there were certain servants who came and went. I am saying that there was an extended family, a family which lived together, traveled together, loved together, laughed together, supported each other when there were times of questions and times of sorrow. And in that evening, when we celebrated the feast of Passover, my son thought to give you a ceremony, as it has now become, a way of remembrance. For he said, "Do this in remembrance of me." Now he meant it for once to remember him as an individual, for he did not want to be forgotten, the same as you will want someone to remember you, to know that you have passed this way, that you have made journey and you have left some part of you within the consciousness of the collective. So he said, "Do this in remembrance of me," as one personality, one individuality, but more than that, it was a suggestion to do this in remembrance of the Christ which he exemplified, and the Christ of you which you are remembering. He knew that there was going to be a time of appearance when it would seem that he had been taken from us, and he wanted to give to you a where you could partake of the elements, and you could be reminded of the love in that evening, and also be reminded of what they symbolized. As we are proceeding with the feast of the Passover, my son, knowing what was to be, and giving his agreement to what was to be, took the bread, and having grown up in the same collective conscience of reverence for all, the place of communion, he blessed the bread. Now, how do you bless anything? There is, first of all, a ritual where you may say a prayer, certain words which have been taught to you which seem to be a blessing. Well, that is well and good. That is a beginning, for it brings the consciousness to the place of centeredness, an awareness, if you will, that what you are embarking upon is a holy space. He took the bread and he blessed it with a prayer of oneness, a prayer of true communion, in the conscious awareness that I am one with all of life. I am one with the grain which has gone into the making of this bread. I am one with the sun which nurtured the grain as it's growing. I am one with the gentle rain which allowed the seed to grow and the grain to blossom. I am one with all who tended the grain. It was a prayer given in blessing in the silence within, a moment of true communion. And when he had blessed the bread with his consciousness of oneness, and knew that the others also were in awareness of the vibration of all life, he said, "Take and eat. This is my body, symbolized for you for remembrance. Take and eat ye all of it." Likewise, after the bread, he took the cup of wine, and again in a consciousness of gratitude and oneness, he blessed the cup, giving thanks for the elixir of the grape, for the process of the growth and fulfillment of the fruit of the wine, knowing oneness with all of the brothers and sisters who tended the vineyards, harvested the grapes, allowed the fruit to be brought into the form of the wine and brought to the table, He blessed it with a consciousness shared by all of those within the room, a consciousness of life and the goodness of life given of the Father. He was well aware of the beauty of life and the goodness of life, and it was not without some sacrifice that he contemplated the hours ahead. And having blessed the cup and given thanks, he instructed everyone, "This is my blood, a symbol of the human life which will be shed for you. Drink ye all of it." In that day and time there was a collective understanding that when one participated in a ceremony, one was agreeing outwardly to the truth which was within. One was agreeing outwardly that, "I am part of the ceremony. I am part of the collective mind." That is why he said, "Eat ye all of it. Drink ye all of it." In other words, claim your part in this. Claim your oneness in the ceremony of communion. So each and every one of us in the room partook of the ceremony as an outward agreement that we were one with each other and one with him. It was an agreement that we would stand by each other. It was not said in words, it was understood. The Christ was present in that room, and there were many who were caught up in the feeling of divinity. The feeling of divinity was to be challenged in the next few hours. But there was in that room, in that evening, a great sense of presence and a remembrance which did, in truth, take us through the events of the next few days. Whenever you partake of a holy ceremony, allow yourself to go deep within and to remember why you are doing it. What does it mean? And whenever you partake of any morsel of food, make it a true communion, with a blessing in the awareness of common union. Holy Communion. Do this in remembrance of me.